gap between expectation and reality is the space occupied by disappointment. So if a person is disappointed with you, it is because there is a gap between what they expected and what you delivered. It might very well be that you miscommunicated your intentions at the beginning of the relationship, and these will, to a very large extent, lead to this misunderstanding. So be not ambiguous. At all times, be very unambiguous in declaring your position. When you are unambiguous in declaring your position, it is because your position is rooted in truth. If it is rooted in truth, you have no need for a good memory. So if at all points in time, all you strive to do is to say exactly what you mean, and then work to align your speech with your deeds. When that integrity exists, you say, oh, there goes a man, or there goes a person, or there goes a human being. I'm not diminishing the woman, but that is the point where they then go and say, that means a woman that is like as a man. The refusal to be silenced by the likes of myself and a whole heap of others, someone like Dr. Ayo, for instance, on Twitter, a whole heap of others, they are Feni Ferry, Babade Banjo, a whole lot of people who are of Yoruba origin, who have repudiated the appropriation of Yoruba's name and heritage in pursuit of the fraud that is the Bola Ahmed Tinubu presidency. Because of our own refusal to be silent, it should be easier for those with half a brain to realize that this is not about any ethnic nation gaining any advantage. It is about a cabal, a class gaining advantages. So when you begin to understand this, you understand very quickly that it is in the midst of our refusal as a people to demand that we be heard so that we all understand exactly what we have signed up to as Nigerians. It is in that refusal that this fraudulence persists. If another person comes in tomorrow and is of Igbo origin, but he is acceptable to this system, you can be sure that it is the likes of Oji Uzokalu, the Okorochas of this world, who are today orphans in the corridors of power, not necessarily because they are not participants, but because they are not given seats at the high table of corruption, which is what happens when your own type gets into this mad system. It is in my selfish interest that Nigeria works. It is in my selfish interest that my children do not become refugees in other countries. It is in my selfish interest that this country realizes its potential. It is in my selfish interest to make sure that even if Nigeria cannot be retained as it is, it does not break up in a war. That the people are able to speak with each other in a manner that allows them to resolve their differences. It is in my enlightened selfish interest to make sure that Nigerians come to the knowledge of the fact that they are better together as one. And then as one, they move together to unite the rest of Africa, understanding clearly that we're in a race. When they talk about the human race, there is actually a race. We've been left behind. We're not only left behind, we're in shackles, and we're still where we were. In fact, we've been drawn further back. We were dragged into a race and then handicapped in that race. I need us to get to that point where we understand that it is in the synergy of our diversities that we can rise up as one and allow ourselves to join the human race. So I felt that that was done and that we had come to the point where we needed to be taking concrete actions. The entire system, the Nigerian state, the entire system coalesced together to make sure that we couldn't. It was brazen, it was in your face, it was it couldn't get any more brazen. It couldn't possibly have gotten any more brazen. From Yakubu at INEC to the Supreme Court. Every step of the way, impunity, in your face impunity governed the system. But that found legitimacy in the divisions that had been caused because we're busy bickering with each other. They had enabled all the levels of division. Those who were busy shouting Yoruba, calling the likes of myself and Ayo and a whole heap of people, everyone who was critical to the unthinking madness of following a criminal to war, they're not paying any less in prices today. We're all paying. The stupidity of a few was allowed to overshadow the reality of the fact that the yearning of the majority is for change. Let this sink into your skulls, whether you are Yoruba, Ronu, or you're one of the Igbos who have embraced the hatred, or you also have your own ignorance that is peppering your snail. Think about it. Obi won in Lagos, and he didn't just win, he won by a landslide. Tinubu did not win a single local government in Lagos State. That was what led to the desperation of Orobi, Orojide, Sonwoku. It was the desperation of what they saw on the 25th of February that led to the madness that you saw with Oro in every part of Lagos. They knew what happened. Shegun Agbaje, the neck in Lagos, I think they call them the resident electoral, he knew what happened. So please don't let's be allowing ourselves to, don't even start it. Don't even allow ourselves to be distracted from facing the fact that whether you are Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa, this Lagos, I don't know about any of, I can't speak with clarity to other parts of Nigeria, but I can speak to Lagos. Overwhelmingly rejected the idea of a Bola Ahmed Tinubu presidency. Those who were preaching liberation theology yesterday, how full are their churches today? Because they've found out the sheep are no longer as stupid as they once were. They now understand the fact that you're just using them. So, they snookered. You'll start seeing the same liberation theme playing across channels in music, in art, because everybody is now snookered. Ariwola's brother is the one auditing the National Judicial Commission now. So I could get my wife to audit me as well, I guess. Yeah. Bukachua did tell us exactly how judgments or justice are delivered. Good Ed is already telling us just exactly how much impunity has governed the exertions of Mr. Wike. But me and you know that nothing will happen to Wike, just like nothing happened to Magu, just like nothing had happened to Adisirika, just as nothing had happened to a whole heap of people who have done a whole heap of stuff smack bang in the public space. These issues are simple. They're simple because we're the ones who have allowed these things to happen, because we've allowed ourselves to be snookered. He said that when we get pushed to the wall, we have a tendency to dig under the wall and keep digging just to keep running away because we are almost entirely focused on survival. That's our way. It's the Nigerian way. And whilst we have deterred, the system has become entrenched because the same issues that were present in our youth are the very same that have become fully fledged monsters that we're dealing with today. monsters that none of our children are equipped to deal with. So I believe that as time has passed and the problems have grown, and we have talked or acted in dumb quixotic manners, thinking that we could deal with a systemic problem by reactions, the system has grown even more evil and more toxic.